So today I wanted to do a follow-up video to the one I released yesterday, which if you don't know, the video I released yesterday talked about a new upcoming PS4 console exclusive called Genshin Impact, and how apparently there are Zelda fans or Nintendo fans in China that were protesting the game because they were really upset that the game is basically a copy and paste of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and one person even went as far as to destroy his PlayStation 4 in protest, which I think we all find pretty funny. But the reason why I wanted to make this little update video is because I realized that I was not nearly as harsh on them as I should have been. I was honestly way too lenient because the problem was I didn't actually, for some reason, watch the trailer before making that recording. I just had an article that I came across and I simply went by the screenshots. And of course, those screenshots were handpicked to make it look very similar to Zelda Breath of the Wild, when in reality, after watching the trailer, and this is something that I noticed a lot of you were pointing out as well, the game really isn't that similar. It just has a lot of artistic similarities, basically the style of the game, and there's a lot of people that were actually getting frustrated at the idea of Nintendo fans getting this worked up, acting as if Nintendo owns the open world formula or owns this type of art style when it comes to a game. So, I just wanted to basically apologize for not doing my due diligence, I guess. I really should have checked out the trailer for myself before I recorded a video, because I definitely was way too lenient on them. The people who are getting upset over this are being absolutely ridiculous. The game is in no way a ripoff of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It looks like its own thing, and honestly, it seems like a lot of people are actually pretty interested in what they saw and think it looks like a really solid game. And that's kind of the feeling I got as well after watching the trailer over a couple of times. It does look like a pretty solid game. Is it something I would play personally? I don't really know. I'm going to say most likely not, simply because at the current moment I have way too much I already have to play. But something else I also wanted to point out that I find really funny, well, there's two things. The first is how this man who destroyed the PS4 over this game, and these protesters, I don't know if they know this, but they're actually helping the game significantly. They are bringing way more attention to this game than it would have gotten if they didn't create all of this fuss over it, basically, especially the person destroying his PS4. It almost makes me wonder, did Sony plan this? Did Sony send somebody out there to smash their PS4 to bring more attention to this game? No, obviously they didn't, but I just have to wonder if the people who were really are they actually this upset over the game, or are they just looking something to be upset over? Well, I can say this: if they are actually that upset over this game, Genshin Impact, then I think it would really be in their best interest to not do anything at all. It's like I said in my previous video, if you really want to protest it, just don't do anything. Don't give it the time of day. Don't give it your money, because you're just helping it, and these people are bringing a lot more attention to this game. And if you don't believe me, something I found interesting, somebody on Twitter pointed this out, where if you go on the trailer on YouTube, you check out the trailer for Genshin Impact, the gameplay trailer, versus the most recent E3 2019 Gears 5 trailer, believe it or not, Genshin Impact has more views compared to the Gears 5 E3 trailer, and that is kind of mind-blowing. That really surprised me. I kind of had this feeling that Gears 5 is just not really a game that's going to do that well, and if it does, it will be because of Game Pass, because I just don't see the hype for it. Nor do I blame anybody for not being hyped for it, because Microsoft has done a very poor job, in my opinion, of properly marketing this game. And it just seems like it's a game that's kind of just being, I don't know, just pushed out the door without the proper marketing. And this is where I realized that Microsoft and Xbox hasn't really learned anything from PlayStation. One of the things that PlayStation does extremely well with their games is marketing. So to think that there's a new independent Chinese IP that's being developed as a console PS4 exclusive, and I'm looking at Gears 5, which is supposed to be one of the biggest titles that Xbox has, and seeing that this game Genshin Impact actually has more views on a gameplay trailer, than Gears 5 does for its E3 trailer, that's kind of mind-blowing. I'm not going to lie to you. That is a little bit concerning. And if I was a big, Xbox fan, I'd be like a little concerned that I don't think Microsoft is treating this game the way they should. They're not marketing it the way they should. And, maybe honestly they're doing this purposely because they know that they can fall back on Game Pass. Maybe they figure we can just save money on marketing and we can just market it through Game Pass and just basically say, hey, we don't need to we don't need to go above and beyond to convince people to buy this game for $60, because if you think about it, that's the whole point of marketing. That's why Sony goes as hard in on marketing as they do, because they know it's a tough sell to convince people to go out there and pay $60 for new games like God of War, Spider-Man, Days Gone, the upcoming Death Stranding. And so they know that they have to go all in with the marketing to convince people and to show people and give them a reason to. Whereas when I look at what Microsoft is doing with Gears 5, not that I really meant for this video to turn into a Gears 5 rant, but you can just tell they're not doing that. They're just not doing that at all. And so, yeah, I just couldn't help but find this pretty interesting. I wanted to really take a moment here to mention this. Now, does this mean that Gears 5 is going to fail or anything like that? Are YouTube view counts a good metric to go by to determine the success of each individual game? Probably not, honestly. I'm not going to sit here and make it sound like that this game, Genshin Impact, is suddenly way more popular than Gears or Gears of War, because it's probably not. But you have to admit that that's kind of surprising, is it not? I mean, if you were to just go by YouTube metrics, that's exactly what it would tell you. But I don't know. Who knows? Between these people, throwing a fit over a game looking similar to another game, and Microsoft just not marketing Gears, it makes for some interesting scenarios that honestly I am just kind of surprised about. So, all I know is that I'm making my second video on this game, Genshin Impact, which just a couple days ago I had no idea what the game was, and I had no interest in it, and here I am making 2 videos covering it because of some weird stuff that's going on around it. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I've been trying to, I'm trying to experiment with making some of my videos shorter. You guys let me know if you like that. Make sure you leave the video a like if you do like the shorter format. Maybe I can continue to do this more often going forward. But if not a big deal. It's all just a matter of, what we had to talk about and how much I have to say on the matter. So yeah, leave the video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.